And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net, should an emergency arise, please notify net control. We will stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This is a net that's all about ham radio. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We are recording now live till 5, and then we'll post it up on YouTube, so you can come by later and do a call letter search for KC9VKV. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're now featuring about 980 QSO-VLOG air checks. Also this afternoon, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers monitoring Rochester, New York, Milford, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Georgia, and Arlington, Virginia, trying to get a better copy on our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio, and today our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of this selector is a cophase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. We do use a lot of rotary selectors in our shack, mainly because there's nothing faster than a rotary switch for comparing multiple signals. And today we'll be running 2 separate transmit and receive radios. Our normal modified Yaesu FT990 will be a receiver radio, and an ICOM 7300 will be our test transmitter radio. The idea being that the 7300 has a lot newer digital technology, so that's what we'll be evaluating. One of yesterday's classic great radios, the Yaesu 990, in the A/B test with the newer ICOM Digital 7300. Of course, this is just a sidewalk survey because they will not be sharing the same antenna. The 990 will be on our twin 10-foot mag loop antennas, and the 7300 will be using our no SWR inverted V dipole. Also today, we'll be running our visual input source indicator, so when we switch receivers from the 7300 to the 990, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. Well, those are our working conditions. How about yours? This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network, and now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, sure do, Jim. Beautiful. 10 and 2, Jim. Beautiful. 10 and 20 over 9, direct, without any SDR. Of course, I don't have a computer. Right now, it's 34 degrees, and it's spitting a few flakes of snow. Not amounting to anything. It's just a few flakes coming down. So, I've got some interesting material on low power on the 7300 KC9VKV K1GZL, if you copy.
Roger, Charlie. Got a beautiful copy on you on my on the Rochester SDR. And what you got for us?
SDR, and what you got for us?
Well, I'll tell you, I was on 2 days ago, of course, this being March 6th. It was March 4th in the morning, and I was working VK2UXO, and that is, trying to think of his name there. Anyway, it just slipped my, Peter, yeah, and he's in Griffith, Australia, and that's inland a ways, back from the coast, at least 150 miles, north and west of Melbourne, and he was running just a dipole at 105 feet, and I decided to try to drop to low power on the 7300 and see how far down he could copy. Don't forget, he's at least 30 degrees off the side of my fixed 3-element diamond-shaped wire quad, and I kept cutting the power, and I'll put that on here right now. And here is Peter in Griffith, Australia, just south of that town. Yeah, right over the sandy desert soil.
G'day, the others, VK2UXO, Uniform X-Ray Oscar. And, your last transmission, I think you said half of what, you're F2, right on the noise. That's amazing, isn't it? That's actually 40 megababies. Anyway, on 50 watts, you were F5. I couldn't get over that. No, you're F7, sorry. And on 10 watts, you're F5. So it was quite amazing. Anyway, you're 5.9 plus in terms of the amplifier running. And what do we get here today? 65 mil of rain, and I guess in your 2.5 inches in your scale, Charlie. So the best rain we've had for a few years out here. I'm about 3.5 hours northwest of Chris. I'm out in the bush, so anyway, good signals all around. K1GZL in the group, VK2UXO.
Okay, Jim, how did that go? Go ahead.
Oh, Roger, that's one of the best ones so far. A really solid copy. There was no even any phasing or anything, so it was just really solid, Roger.
Thanks. It was just really solid, Roger.
Well, I'm glad that you're coming in just absolutely beautiful here.
Best one so far. A really solid copy. There was no even any phasing or anything, so it's just really solid, Roger.
Okay. But by the way, we're up to 183.5 inches of snow for the season. And right now, we've had some melting going on. A few days ago, we were up to 47 degrees Fahrenheit, +8 to +9 C or Celsius. And right now we have an average of 23 to 31 or 2 inches, depending where you measure it on the level ground. I was down in Colebrook, 10 miles south of here yesterday, and that's 1,000 feet lower. And at that point, there was only 5 to 8 inches, so there was a terrific difference on the snow depths once you get away from the elevation. Look, I don't want to hold it too long, Jim. You probably have a lot of stations who would like to run some tests, and I'll turn it right back over to you. And I want to thank you very much for picking me up. KC9VKV, K1GZL, Clarksville, Northern New Hampshire.
Roger, Charlie. Well, let's see. I went around the horn on the SDRs, and you were just maxed out on all of them. Earlier, though, I was missing Milford, and I looked up, and somehow the frequency that I had on my tablet for Milford got changed. I guess things happen moving south or west or whatever it is, but after I put in the right frequency, you were at 20 over there, and that was the best signal overall of everything, the Milford SDR. Well, let me say threes, Charlie. Thanks for sharing your tape on that Australian contact. It gets better and better. I can't see how it could get much better, but I didn't hear any noise on that transmission at all. Just our noise. So that must have been a very pristine transmission. Well, let me say threes, Charlie. Thanks for dropping by, as always, and keeping us informed about the comings and goings of 40 meters. It never ceases to amaze me, how things move around. Mother Nature, I guess, after it's all said and done, keeps things interesting. Without her, we would probably be very mundane about what we're doing, because we would know everything works and there's no problems. But Mother Nature spends her time keeping us intrigued as to just how things are going to go on a particular day. Threes, Charlie. We'll catch you later. And this is a KC9VKV in the afternoon QSO-VLOG network. My name is Jim, KC9VKV, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page, you'll be looking for one QSO-VLOG entitled My group Aircheck 3620. My group Aircheck 3620. And with that, we'll throw it open and see who we got there. This is KC9VKV listening.
KC9VKV listening.
Uniform Bravo Oscar, Uniform Bravo Oscar.
Bravo Oscar Station, come back with your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Yes, sir. November 6, Uniform Bravo Oscar. Name is Bernie, Bravo Echo Radio, November India Echo, and QTH Athens, Georgia. Go ahead.
Roger, sounding good. Yeah, what radio are you running?
Running an old ICOM 765, and just running an off-center fed dipole at about 10 meters, Jim. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger. Well, I went through my SDRs, and I thought I might strike up a really solid copy on the Atlanta, Georgia SDR, but you know how that is. Two guys 15 miles away, they have to get a relay from Syracuse or something. But anyway, I went back to my local 990, and that radio is running my two 10-foot mag loops, and you're about 15 over there, Roger.
Oh, Roger, good to hear that. You're running a solid 20 over down here, Jim. How's the audio sound? I just kind of tweaked the knobs here and never really had it on a scope or anything. I'm just not that involved, but I usually get pretty good reports on this radio. And just using the ICOM desk mic, the Sierra Mic -30. Go ahead.
Roger, looking at it on the spectrum analyzer, looks good. Not a lot of bottom end, but then, you kind of risk having a problem if you have a bunch of bottom end, and then you have some phase inversions from, the skywave bounce not being all in one place, and some of it being refracted from higher altitudes at slightly delayed times, and then starts the phase cancellation up in the upper registers. And if you have a bunch of bottom end and you lose your top end, then you're Mr. Mumbles, but I think your audio is just perfect. I wouldn't change a thing.
All right, that's good to hear. Yeah, I usually get pretty good reports on it, and very happy with the setup I've got here. The off-center fed dipole is an old Fritzl, if you remember them. I've had that quite a number of years, and it seems to do a real good job.
Oh, Roger that. Yeah, sounds really good. Boy, I wouldn't change a thing. Get the Gorilla Tape and tape it down.
All right, will do, Jim. Gonna back out of here, and I thank you for your feedback. I know other fellows want to chat with you, so do appreciate KC9VKV and 6UDO FM3, Jim. Thank you.
Roger, Bernie 3Z way, sir. This is KC9VKV, and like I say, we are transmitting on the 7300 today for the first time. Usually we have been on our FT990 as the transmit, running both receivers, obviously, but today we're transmitting with the 7300, and we are on a battery power supply, and I've never run this for an hour and a half, 50% duty cycle that long, so we may have to make some revisions. I'm not sure if our battery supply is going to hold up. We have a brute force a 10 amp charger that kicks in right at 12 volts, so that will probably save the day, but we shall see. Always interesting to experiment. This is KC9VKV, and we are listening.
Whiskey 7, Charlie, Sierra Alpha.
Whiskey 7 station, and come back with a call sign again.
Yeah, it's Whiskey 7, Charlie, Sierra Alpha, Whiskey 7, Charlie, Sierra Alpha. Name's Robert. I'm located in Gastonia, North Carolina, and I'm running a Yaesu 3000 with a Hall PR781 microphone to a 40-meter dipole up about 50 feet.
Oh, Roger. What was the name again?
Robert.
Roger, Robert. Well, looking at your audio on the spectrum analyzer, you are very broadband. You've got a lot going across all the way from the top to the bottom, Roger.
Roger that. Yeah, I spoke with you before. I was just listening to you and heard your setup today, and I was wondering how the 100 watts was doing when you're up to your location. I know you've got the different receivers, but I know you're putting 30 dB over on me here.
Roger. Well, we do have our antenna set up for, we're trying to get 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot in the Carolinas, Roger.
Roger that. Yeah, I figured you had a hot spot here, because you always come in here. I'm not always able to come in here and talk to you on Friday afternoons, but I usually listen, and yeah, your signal is always real strong. So, but yeah, you helped me set my radio up back a few months back, so I just thought I'd stop by and say hello, and I'll go ahead and get out of the way unless someone in here that probably needs a little help with their audio. But good hearing from you again, Jim, and you have a good day.
Roger, Robert. Thanks for dropping by, man. Always a pleasure. Beautiful signal. Again, the Gorilla Tape in large quantities on everything. Don't change it. Very good signal. Threes to you. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. And if you've got a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu Mike, Zulu, Georgia.
Kilo Charlie 4, Zulu Mike, Zulu, is that correct?
That's correct, Jim. It's Bill, just across the river here from you. I just got put a new amplifier in line with my microphone, just checking it out here. Curious what you thought of it.
Oh, Roger, yes. It looks to be about 12 over, Roger. Come back and let me verify that.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm don't want to overdrive the radio here with this thing, so I think I've got it set right with the ALC, but just curious how it sounded on your end.
Oh, sounds beautiful. Now, how much are you radiating, sir?
About 500 watts.
Oh, Roger. Well, it looks to be about 12 over, so you're doing a great job. You know, it's so hard to calculate, like in the proximity, close proximity, exactly what's going to happen here. You know, sometimes you can be 12 miles away and not hear each other, and sometimes you can be 15 and get 20 overs back and forth. So, on a local signal, it's really hard to say for sure what's going to happen, Roger.
Roger, yeah, I know how that is, especially with HF. So, anyway, just curious, sounds like it's doing okay for me, so I appreciate the feedback, and I'll say 73, and you have a great afternoon.
Roger, Bill. Looking at your audio on a spectrum analyzer, you're very full, not bunching the bottom end, but your intelligibility is quite high, just the way it is. I wouldn't change anything, Roger.
Roger, sounds good. Appreciate it. I'll leave it as it is. Take care. KC4ZMZ.
Roger, Bill. Nice and crisp, very intelligible. This is KC9VKV. I notice I have a click oriented the way I am with these two radios, so sometimes when I'm coming off the 990 receive, there's a little click there. I can't really do anything about that. This is not my normal lash up. We're usually transmitting on the 990 and receiving on the 990 and the 7300, but today we're using the 7300 as the transmitter and then still monitoring both those radios in receive. This is KC9VKV listening.
W4 Zulu Golf India.
Station W4 Zulu, and what's the rest?
Golf India, W4ZGI, Mike in Alabama.
Mike, I tell you what, man, things get real quiet when you key down, Roger.
Oh, very good. You are very loud here, too. I'm also on a 7300 that I just got 2 days ago, and I was wondering if it sounds okay to you, if I need to change anything.
Well, there's a couple of things I would suggest. The first is to engage your compressor at about a 3. And you know, I love the way that those things are available on your multi-button there and to the right of your upper right of your display. You know, you can get that compressor and just engage it at about a 3. Roger.
Roger. I had it on a 4, and I just dropped it back to a 3. Over.
Yes, a 3 is just so ideal because it doesn't tend to pump as what you would hear, and that's the whole secret, to be able to utilize equipment without it being obvious what's happening. Roger.
Roger on that. I'd love to get mine sounding as good as yours does. I'm using an SM20 desk microphone with this one, and I've got the mic gain set at 14%.
Roger that. Well, I would suggest going to your ALC and adjusting your mic level to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. I'm not sure exactly where it is now, but bring up your ALC so you can see it, and then adjust your mic level to where it is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger. Okay, I'm right on mid-scale now. Let me audio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio. I'm not able to get it up any higher. Well, there. Yeah, there we go. I'm not getting much more than about half, about 50 on the ALC. Over.
It's looking good. Now, do you know where your EQ is?
No, I have not fooled with the EQ at all.
All right, let me just give you a little note. When you do find EQ, crank in +2 on the treble EQ, +2 from wherever you are, additional on the treble top-end EQ. Roger?
Roger on that. +2 on the treble, more than what I've got right now.
Yes, exactly. That'll give you a little edge for articulation and increase the crispness of your audio, which is so important when we get into those marginal situations where, the noise level is sometimes over our head. Folks can still perceive what you're saying if you have fairly articulated audio, even though you are in their noise level. The more articulated your audio is, the easier they can hear you, and not only just hear you, but understand what you're saying in heavy noise. Roger?
Roger on that. Very good. You've helped me with a couple other radios before, and I've been very happy. And I sure appreciate what you do. You do a wonderful job. And your transmit audio is phenomenal.
Well, thank you so very much, sir. Like I say, this is the first time we're actually using the 7300 as the transmitter. For 3 or 4 years, we've always used the 990, and so we got the 7300 just recently. My Elmer wanted to let me check it out, and so I'm really grateful for that. And so we ran for quite a few weeks comparing the receiver with our 990 receiver, and then today is probably the first time that we've actually used the 7300 in the transmit mode. Roger?
Roger. My second rig here is also a Yaesu FT990, so I think we've pretty much got the same setup here, over.
I do too.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, it's this one's been modified from the standpoint of being able to receive a much broader band of audio in the bandpass than stock, so it does go down to 100 cycles. The 7300 also goes way down, even past 100 cycles. So it's it's just amazing what's happening today with HF audio, the technical expertise that these radios can generate. And the thing is, a lot of times, most times, folks just use their radio box with a speaker inside and say, hey, close enough. But you'll be amazed if you get that audio out of your receiver, take even a speaker out, plug, and get that audio out into a fairly flat audio system, and gosh, oh boy, it's just beautiful.
I know. I've got mine on an external speaker that's it's a Sony, a very good Sony stereo speaker, as a matter of fact, and it does very well. The internal speaker is okay on these radios, like you say, but it doesn't provide the fullness of audio that this does, that's for certain.
Oh, Roger, it just doesn't have enough cubes. It's not physically possible to, get down to 100 cycles inside your transceiver box. So, you got to get that audio out. And, there are a lot of El Cheapo audio systems, Wally World's got a couple down there. Well, we got one down there that's like $32 or something. It's a 2.1. It's got 2 satellite speakers plus a subwoofer. And the neat part about the subwoofer is that with that, you can get down into under 100 cycles reproduction. And, that's where the beauty of audio really is. If you are not capable of hearing those lower frequencies, gosh, it's just so beautiful.
I know. I love the low end on all of them. And you're absolutely right. I will go down and check that out. It's probably in their stereo department, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in electronics. It's like $32, I think. I forget what the name of it is, but I think it's the only one for that. It's a 3-speaker system, 2 satellites, and 1 subwoofer. And the beautiful part about that is that the subwoofer just gets down there, and you have to calibrate it. Kind of what's the best, easiest way to calibrate that subwoofer is just play some nice music through that system, and then as you're listening to it, just bring that subwoofer volume up to where the bass line sounds equal to the other 2 speakers. Just a balance. And once you get that balance and using music to balance it, then just plug it into your radio. You're good to go.
Yeah, Roger on that. Very good. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to get into my equalizer and change the treble EQ wherever whatever the factory default is on a 7300 where it's sitting. So I'll do a +2 over that, and I'll check back with you next week if that's okay.
Sure. Now, you're using the hand mic?
No, I'm not. I'm using the SM20 desk mic. The hand mic on these things, though, they work marvelously well as compared to the older ICOM hand mics. Those weren't very good, but boy, the hand mic that came with this thing is a pretty good hand mic.
Oh, yeah. Usually it takes a couple of $100 to come up with a sound equal to that stock hand mic. They did their homework on that. That's one of those nice mics. Now, in your case, you do need a windscreen. I would go down to my local music store and get me a little foam windscreen, and that will take care of any mouth noises that you might have. Roger?
I've got one back here somewhere. I'll put it on this microphone. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and continue doing what you're doing. It's marvelous. W4ZGI in Northeast Alabama.
Roger. And what was the name there, please?
The name is Mike, like a microphone.
Roger, Mike 3, sir. Thank you for dropping by. And guys, if you get a chance to check in next Friday, with any luck, we'll be here as normal between 3:30 and 5, recording all the way. 3's to you, sir. Have a great weekend. This is KC9VKV, and I guess we'll do this right about now. In regards to the latest coronavirus situation, here's a current update. As of noon today, new cases of the coronavirus were confirmed in new parts of the U.S. On Friday, health experts are urging people to continue practicing preventive measures such as routine hand washing, and that means, just hand wash every time you have the opportunity in order to avoid the virus. The death toll in the U.S. from coronavirus outbreak rose to 14 today, with more than 225 cases confirmed across the country. Pennsylvania has announced its first cases. Johns Hopkins University announced that more than 100,000 people have been infected worldwide. President Trump on Friday morning signed an $8.3 billion emergency spending package to combat the virus. Pennsylvania has reported its first 2 coronavirus cases. Governor Tom Wolf said Friday both individuals are recovering at home in isolation. Almost 16,000 people hospitalized in Iran, the health minister confirms. Facebook groups provide a haven for coronavirus misinformation. Facebook's efforts to limit the spread of coronavirus misinformation are running into a problem. The groups, dozens of public and private Facebook groups totaling hundreds of thousands of members, have become a haven for conspiracy theories, medical equipment promotion, and unproven cures related to the new coronavirus, according to an analyst at NBC. And we wanted to just pass on the, what you can do to manually try to avoid the virus. Stay home when you're sick. If there is an outbreak, stay home if you've been exposed to a family or household member who is sick. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and wash your hands. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 20 seconds. Use at least a 60% alcohol-based hand sanitizer if soap and water are not available. It's especially important to wash your hands before and after touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. Clean frequently touched surfaces and objects with soap and water, bleach and water, or an EPA-approved disinfectant. Often touched surfaces include doorknobs, railings, computer keyboards, phones, toys, and desks. So there you go. And, hopefully we will not have a major outbreak if, we can all do our part to try to prevent it. And it's amazing just washing your hands how much safety measures that is for the simple exercise. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Papa Oscar Radio.
Papa Oscar Radio, I believe it was.
Yeah, Roger. It's KN4 POR. Good evening there, Jim. Just wanted to say hello there to you. You've helped me with my 7300. I have the second one here, and I think I've got the settings about the same as the first there. Operator, here's Jeff. Roger?
Roger, Jeff. Come back and tell me about your antenna system.
Yeah, Roger. That wonderful antenna system is a single-cut 40-meter dipole up there about 50 feet. And the snow's blowing up there today there, Jim, down here in Virginia. So how's the weather up your way?
Oh, very nice. Last time I checked, I think it was about 45 degrees, which is better than what it has been. Well, your audio looks really good. I'm looking at it on the spectrum analyzer. Gosh, I wouldn't change a thing. Got a nice top end, very articulated, and you're doing me, it looks to be about 15 over, Roger, on my... let's see, I got to interpolate what antenna I'm on and what radio. I'm on the 990, so today that is my co-phase 10-foot mag loops, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, on that mag loop. Yeah, you're about 15 over as well here. I run the AL811 there, about 400 watts here, not pushing it too hard. But just like I said, like those ICOM 7300s, they're coming on down in price, and I got another one. I use the older one for the digital mode and leave it set up for that there, Jim. And I was looking at Walmart there. You was talking about that surround system, the 2.1, I think you said. The 3-speaker system is $39.99. Is that probably the one you were talking about?
Maybe up here it's about $32, but do you remember the manufacturer's name on that?
I was trying to see here who it says. Hold on just a minute here. We'll look in here on Walmart. I can't tell who it is there. Doesn't say here. Yeah,
Roger. I don't know, but like up here it's about $32. I think they only have 2.1 system. It could be wrong. They have some Bose, but too rich for my blood. This thing's kind of pedestrian priced, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Roger. Look here. I clicked on something. Looks like the Be-Free Sound. Be-Free Sound. BEFREE Sound. Does that sound ring a bell?
No, sounds like it's got some O's in it. I forget. Gosh, I'm not really endorsing it, but I'm just saying that for practically nothing, you can get a 2.1 system with a subwoofer that will let you enjoy frequencies below 100 cycles. And once you get it balanced with some music through it, then you just plug it into your speaker out, and you'll be in heaven.
Roger on that. Yeah, I got one of the little ICOM SP, I think 25 speakers there, and they're not much. It's okay, but to enjoy the sound there, like you said, and the audio and stuff, and especially the newer rigs, that would be neat there. Just looking here, I'm sure I'll find something there, Jim. Appreciate the contact here, and just wanted to say hello, and do appreciate all the help here you do for the amateur radios out here in radio world, and help them get their rigs going where they can use their rig and get the best out of it there. I'll say 73 to you there, Jim. It's been wonderful. Good to hear you again. This is KN4 POR. Be clear with KC9 Victor Kilo Victor. 73 there, Jim.
Roger, Jeff. 3Z Way, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. KR4YGB something?
Yeah, Kilo India 4 Yankee Tango Victor. It's Andover in Alabama, Jim, and that 7300 sounds great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we set it up. Usually I try to avoid transformers when I cut radios. We have a house audio system that, we use, and it goes a lot of places. And one of the things it does feed the HF radios, but it also feeds my mixer so I can make my QSO-VLOG video and have audio for that. And we have to cut the system into a radio, and we usually go through the mic input. And a normal way we do that is with a double bridge circuit. It's 10K out of the mixer, 10K into the mic input, and then right where those two 10Ks come together, we use a shunt resistor to ground to get the level that we need for the radio to be at mid-scale to 2/3 with the mic level sitting at about the 10 o'clock position. But I was not getting too successful. I was getting some ground loops, and that's one thing I just hate is any kind of buzz or hum or anything, even if it's very reduced in the background. So we did use a ISO 600 to 600 transformer in there, and obviously one 600 ohm winding can go directly into the mic input of the radio, but the other 600, we're bridging in with 10K out of the mixer, and that transformer winding wants to see a load to perform properly as far as transfer linear audio through the transformer. So we did have to load the incoming side of that 600 ohm transformer with about a 5 to 600 ohm resistor. I forget what it was exactly, but everything worked out. We got the transformer in there, and it should be super clean audio.
Yeah, you're not humming. Remember the other day I told you were had a little hum in the background. That's not good for Mr. Audio. Hey, I won't hold your show up too much. You can give me a quick audio check and give me a call sometime, because I've been some of the receive features on the 7300, like adjusting the filter bandwidth on the receivers and the AGC, fast, slow, and medium. You can adjust them. And just give me a call sometime. I know you're doing the show. Give me a quick audio check. KI4YTV.
Looking good, and you're about 10 over, Roger.
Does it sound good? Enough treble, enough bass, too much?
No, looking at you on the spectrum analyzer, you're very nice. I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay, good. I got the mic levels up at 80%, so that's pretty good. I don't think any more would probably be overdriving it. Okay, thanks. I got to run a net myself in an hour or so. And Jim, give me a call sometime. We'll try going over these 7300. Thing sounds great. You look good on my scope. KI4YTV.
Roger, add 3 set weight, sir. Have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG Friday afternoon show. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. I think there was something with a Q in it.
Yeah, Kilo India 4, Echo Golf, Quebec.
Yes, sir, and what's the name there?
Yeah, the name is Bill, Bravo India Lima in Woodstock, Georgia. Over.
Roger, down in Georgia. Well, that's sounding good there. What's radio you're running?
Well, good afternoon, Jim, and thank you for running the ICOM 7100 at 100 watts, barefoot with a Alpha Delta DXCC multiband dipole up about 50 feet. With a Heil HM12 mic, and you are coming in at plus 30.
Roger that. Well, some suggestions if you could take notes, or if you know your way around, we can do it right now. I would engage that compressor at about a 3. Turn your compressor on at about a 3, Roger.
We'll copy that.
All righty, Bill, you got that?
Yeah, KC9VKV, KI4EGQ. How's that?
All right, you got that compressor on and about 3?
Yeah, that's about a, that's about a 3.
Roger. What kind of input do you have? A rotary control, or do you is it a 1 to 10 or 1 to 100?
Yeah, on the 7100, it just says on off.
You don't have an input level adjustment? Let me give you some notes, and then you can figure it out and do it at your leisure. Roger?
All right, roger that. Thank you.
Okay, first thing is engage your compressor at about a 3. So you'll need to find your level, input level for the compressor. So engage it and then put it on a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Or 10 o'clock or 10:30 if it's just a rotary control. We're talking about daylight time there to adjust that, and then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC as you speak naturally, not like you're going to set a level, but just speak naturally and just adjust your mic gain to where your ALC reading on that meter is mid-scale to 2/3. Roger? Okay, and come back and tell me a little bit about your antenna system. See if I can hear your audio curve at the moment. Roger?
All right, KC9VKV, KI4EGQ, have the Alpha Delta DXCC multi-band feet, and it's been working pretty good for me.
Roger that. Okay, I would bring that top-end EQ, your treble EQ, I would put that at 3 clicks hotter than what it is. On your EQ, go to your treble control and adjust it for 3 clicks hotter than where it is at the moment. Roger?
Okay, roger that, Tim. Thank you.
And that'll get you a nice articulated audio, and you'll be in good shape for whatever's coming. Roger, Roger?
All right, Roger. Sure appreciate it. And thanks for the QSO, and thanks for the tips. Again, great signal from Indiana, and pleasure to meet you. Have a great weekend. KC9VKV, KI4EGQ 73.
Roger, Bill. And you were in and out, kind of. When you were in, your signal was a good 8 dB above my noise level. And then when you, faded down, it dropped into my noise level. But it was, by and large, more in than out. Roger?
All right, roger that, Jim.
Thank you, sir. 3's there. And have a good afternoon, great weekend. And if you get a chance to join us next Friday at between 3:30 and 5, we will be recording. And then what we do is post that up on YouTube, and it takes us usually a couple of days to do that, but we get it up on YouTube, and you'll be looking today, well, when you visit in a couple of days, it will be, the title of this air check will be called My Group Air Check 3620. My Group Air Check 3620. And this is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG. If you got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November Sugar 4 Foxtrot.
Foxtrot station, give me the whole thing.
Thank you. It's November Sugar 4 Foxtrot.
Roger, what's the name?
Reginald. Hey, Jim, it's Reginald.
Roger. And what's going on, sir?
Oh, all is well, man. Just spinning through and heard you starting the net up. Wanted to stop in and say howdy to you right quick, okay?
Roger. And where are you located, sir?
I'm lucky to be over in the God bless city and town in the state of Raleigh, North Carolina.
You're right in the middle of my hotspot there.
I'm not going to hold you, Jim. I hear you have many of them checking in, but I think it was you and Terrence and I was talking last month, and I dropped by to say howdy again, okay?
Roger, and I'm looking at your audio on the spectrum analyzer. It's just nice, broad audio, so I wouldn't change a thing. Get the super glue on this deal.
Okay, dokie. I certainly appreciate hearing that, man. We running an audio check microphone here with the Yaesu 5000. All right, Jim, carry on with your net, man, and have a fantastic day, okay? November is sugar, 4 Foxtrot.
Roger, Roger. 3 is that way, sir. And this is KC9VKV, Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. And today and for the next few days, we'll be conducting our sidewalk survey, an AB receiver test between our normal modified Yaesu FT990 and the newer digital and influenced ICOM 7300. There will be a few anomalies during the test. Our 7300 will be running a resonant dipole with 0 reflected wave, and the 990 will be running 2 co-phase 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas. All transmissions will be from the ICOM 7300, which is first time we're using the ICOM 7300 on our QSO-VLOG network, and we're just seeing how the old battery supply lasts for an hour and a half at 50-50 duty cycle. Shall see. This is KC9VKV listening. Victor Bravo Sierra, come back with the whole call sign.
Kilowatt 4, Victor Bravo Sierra, K4 CBS.
Roger, Roger. And what's the name?
My name is Randy, Radio Alpha, November Yankee, and I'm in Eastern North Carolina, Greenville, North Carolina.
Roger that, sir. And what radio are you running?
Running a Tango Sierra 870, an old radio, and into a Tokyo high-powered amplifier that still works, up about 400 watts.
Roger that. I'm copying you best on my Rochester SDR, and your looks to be about 10 over, 12 over on that SDR receiver. Roger.
On that SDR receiver. Roger. Roger. We're coming quite nicely, about 20 over 9. I'm using a Delta loop antenna.
Roger that. And what kind of SWR are you running on that antenna, out of curiosity?
Well, with the antenna tuner, it's about 1.1, 1.2.
Roger. What is it without the tuner?
What is it without the tuner? Well, I've got it going through an antenna tuner. It's through the linear is going through the Tokyo high-powered antenna tuner.
Oh, roger that. Yeah, I was just asking, have you ever measured it without the antenna tuner?
No, not this one. I have not. I have my beams, but not this one, because one is if somebody cut one of my antenna trees down, so I've got it sort of, it's a sloping delta loop.
Roger that. Well, thing is, antenna tuner makes it work, but it doesn't make it great. The antenna tuner does not improve the antenna, and if you have high SWR, the antenna is not going to be very efficient. You can use the antenna tuner to match it into your radio, and the radio appreciates that, but it doesn't make the antenna that any more effective. So the idea is to try to get that lowest SWR without the antenna tuner, and you need to work on it maybe for a couple of days, but the object is to try to get that SWR down lowest within the mid-channel, mid-frequency of the band that you are going to work with it. And I have found, not using a Balun transformer, that I'm just running direct to my dipole, and in tuning it, I use the ground side as the SWR adjustment, and the high side to bring it on frequency. And you keep going back and forth, and you're working that SWR down and on the ground, on the shield side, and bringing it back on frequency on the high side, till eventually you're down into the 0.05, 0.03 area. Roger.
0.03 area. Roger. Oh, Roger that. That's great. That's great advice. I just haven't done it, and I probably need to do it. And so when I restring the antenna on one end, I probably will do that. Thank you so much.
Roger, Roger. And I'll tell you another thing. And I had an experience with, I had a good buddy of mine, we just checked in earlier today, who's an extremely good flycaster. And so I had picked out this tree that I wanted to be at the top of this tree. So my good buddy came out, and he only had like a 10-degree span, because one time I had 38 antennas around the house and the premise, and so he only had about a 10-degree slice of daylight to hit this place up at the top of the tree, and he was like Babe Ruth, man. He pointed his rod up at the top, and he choop, and it went right exactly. It's exactly where it needed to go. And then I started trying to work my SWR out, and I never could get it out because, and I later, through operator error, as I was my billionth time of trying to work the SWR out of this sloper antenna, I was just using these tie wraps that I just had loose, and unfortunately they weren't tight enough, and I lost the whole thing out of the top of the tree. But as a side note, then I had to run it to the first limb of that tree instead of 60 feet higher. And when I ran it to that first limb and I looked at my SWR, it was perfect. You know, in all those months I'd been trying to get that sloper to get the SWR down, and then I, through accident, lost that and had to restring it to the first limb, and the SWR was perfect. And I came to the conclusion that what it was, there was such a difference between the high side sloper part going up to the top of that tree and the low ground side moving down to 18 feet on a telephone pole, I think it was, that they were severely imbalanced to ground, and so you never could do that. You have to have some kind of similar situations between the two sides of the dipole to be able to get that SWR down, Roger. To get that SWR down, Roger.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's disheartening when you do get a limb way up there, and then all of a sudden the wind breaks the limb or something like that. No, that's an interesting point. So you've really got to keep it balanced. What's the ratio of the low end to the high end?
Right, in distance, I think, anyway. You know, even in a situation where you have an inverted V, both of the bottoms are coming down at similar angles and reside at similar distances off the ground when they finally, push come to shove. So, again, you're talking about similar sides, Roger. You're talking about similar sides, Roger.
Roger. Thanks so much, and I'll let others get in. This is K4VBS, and enjoy the conversation.
Roger, Andy. 3 sideways, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Yankee X-ray.
Something ending in X-ray. Come back with the call sign slowly, phonetically.
Whiskey, Bravo, 8, Whiskey, Yankee X-ray.
I got the last Whiskey Yankee X-ray. What was the first?
Whiskey, Bravo, 8, Whiskey, Yankee X-ray.
Whiskey, Bravo, 8, Whiskey, give me the, repeat that one more time, please.
Okay. I know, I got one ear that doesn't work too well. Whiskey, Bravo, 8, Whiskey, Yankee X-ray.
I got it. What's the name there?
Name here is Joe. We're located in Struthers. I worked with you before on the 7300. I got that relocated elsewhere, and I'm running 7600 using a DM800. It is a Chinese studio microphone. Just wondering how the audio sounds.
Okay, Joe, it sounds pretty pushed. What I would suggest would be to put your compressor on. Do you have your compressor on and at about a 3?
Compressor, I think, is 4. I'll go ahead and change that level.
Yes, put that on a 3.
Okay, Jim.
I think your name's Jim, WB8WYX here. How's the compression sound now? I get it down to a 3.
Yes, it sounds a lot better. Now, go to your ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust your ALC where the meter reads mid-scale to 2/3 by using your mic gain control.
Okay, we'll do that. It's kind of tight. These little buttons here are real skinny. Let's see here. Let me back this down just a little bit. How's that, sir?
All right, and now tell me about your antenna system.
I'm running sort of like it's a homemade brew. It's like a doublet, and it's 65 foot in the air, and the actual size is 70-some foot on each end, and it's sort of like looped around like an S, I guess you'd say. The gentleman down in Salem, Ohio, a friend of mine, designed it. And we've been testing it. It's doing pretty decent. Go ahead.
Roger. Now I'm still hearing a lot of background noise. Double check to be sure your compressor's on a 3. Compression on a 3. And then go back to your ALC and adjust with mic gain in hand. And you're looking for mid-scale to 2/3. Shouldn't be quite that much blow-by in the dead key situation.
Okay, what I did is I shut the compression off, and it's showing about 3/4 or a little more. How's that?
Now, you want the compressor on, and you want the compressor at a 3. We're going to work this thing out, and you're going to have 3 dB dynamic range with 80 to 85% average peak modulation. But the first thing is to be sure and keep your compressor on and at a 3. Then take your mic gain and adjust your ALC reading for mid-scale to 2/3 reading there as you just speak naturally.
Okay, I will try that. I have the mic gain set at 12 o'clock. It was at 2 o'clock. And the ACL was about 3/4, a little bit more, but looks good this way. Go ahead.
Roger, sounds a lot better. I think, before you were like Katie up against the door, trying to reach ants on the moon.
Yeah, you might also hear a muffin fan running in the back. I have to put a thermal coupler on the muffin fan of my power supply. I don't know if you heard that or not, but go ahead.
Muffins, yes, I love muffins. And I also love those little, well, never mind. I keep a supply of sweeteners around the shack. I usually cover them up so the wife doesn't have conniptions. But anyway.
Okay, I appreciate it. I won't hold you up. I will check the site to see how it sounds. And I shall leave it as is. The compression is at 3 and the mic gain is at 12. When it sounds good to you, that's all matters, because I know when I set up the 7300 with you, it worked very well. Thank you again. God bless. Don't want to hold you up. There's a lot of other guys want some help too. WB8, WYX,
Roger, Roger. What was the name again, please?
Joe, J-O-E, Juliet Oscar Echo.
Exactly. With the 7600. All right, man. Sounds good. Get that Gorilla tape it down. And have a great weekend coming up. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday between 3:30 and 5. And we'll be recording just like now and then post it up on YouTube. And when you go to YouTube for this one, you'll do the call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And you'll be looking, once you get to the QSO-VLOG page, we're running about 980 QSO-VLOG air checks. And this one will be entitled My Group Aircheck 3620. My Group Aircheck 3620. This is KC9VKV listening. Something Bravo, ending in Bravo.
Kilo 4, Tango X-ray Bravo.
Tango X-ray Bravo. Come back with the full thing slowly phonetically, please.
Kilo 4, Tango X-ray Bravo.
I got it. And what's your name, please, sir?
Name here is John, Juliet, Oscar, November.
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running, sir?
ICOM 7200.
Roger, Roger. And tell me about your antenna system.
Well, it's a portable and it's buddy pole. It's a 40-meter dipole with loading coils.
Yeah, and what kind of, do you ever run that without the antenna tuner? And if you do, what's your SWR?
It's a 1.5 with the antenna analyzer straight from the coax.
Roger. Well, that's within striking distance. Now you need to pick a Saturday or Sunday and work on it just a little bit more and see if you can get that SWR down below 1, Roger, to a point something.
Roger, Roger.
It's just amazing the efficiency of a dipole antenna that's resonant with extremely low SWR. Roger.
Roger. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try to get it down below 1. Just going to take some work on adjusting.
Roger, Roger. Trying to hear your audio, and you're very, very short with your dialogue. So I wanted to run around and find a better location if I could. What's the best thing you like about your radio?
Well, this is a portable. If I can grab and go, it's very efficient on the battery. Right now, I'm running 25 watts on a bio-NO battery. So it's really efficient and seems to do the trick.
Roger, so you're running 25 watts, did you say?
Roger, 25 watts on a battery. The bio-NO lithium battery.
Roger, and you're doing this as a QRP or something?
I'm doing it at 25 watts just to save battery. If I use higher wattage, the battery goes faster.
Roger, Roger. Now, are you around AC that you could put a power supply in the wall and do it that way?
No, negative. It's portable. I'm out, I'm portable operation.
Well, now describe your surroundings, sir.
Blank field with surrounded by pine trees. There is a transmission line, maybe 200 feet away from me, but wide open field.
Roger. Now, do you have to have a ground system? Do you have a ground? Are you using a ground on that radio?
Negative. Just using the tripod, and the radio is on a table. No ground.
Roger. Well, I commend you, sir. You're coming in here. It looks to be about maybe 4 or 5 dB above my noise level, Roger. We're located near Louisville, Kentucky.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I've been successful on field days with this antenna and radio combination. It seems to do the trick. I mean, it's a fix for 25 watts. I can run for about 4 or 5 hours on the battery and get several contacts. And I heard you checking the radio, so I wanted to see if I can get in here and get how my sound is.
Roger, Roger. I was just getting a little coffee there. Well, you could use a little more top-end audio EQ. If you're familiar with your radio, if you go to your EQ and crank in about 3 clicks hotter top-end EQ than where you are, you will have more intelligibility. Roger?
Roger that. I'll adjust that. I'll make that adjustment later. I'll take notes of that. And I really appreciate you. I won't hold you up. And, man, I thank you for being there. This is Kilo 4, Tango X-Ray Bravo. Thank you. Say 7-3.
Roger, John, and just before you go, we do recommend that you run your compressor at about a 3, and then adjust your ALC to where you're running a mid-scale to 2/3 by way of your mic level control. Roger?
Roger, I'll make that note as well. Thank you so much.
Roger, Roger. 3 is John. Have a good afternoon. Catch you later. And if you get a chance next Friday, try to join us earlier is the better, because a lot of times, things get really heavy at the end of the of our network. So in the earlier times, like maybe 3:45 might be a good time if you wanted to try to check in next Friday. Roger?
Roger. Thank you so much. 73.
Roger, 3 Z-way, sir. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Boston United Echo.
Again, there was an echo in there right at the end. What is the call sign?
November 2, Bravo United Echo. Name's Ron.
Roger, Roger, Ron. I've got you, sir. Whereabouts are you located?
Yeah, okay, Jim. We're located in Gippsland, New Jersey. Gippsland, New Jersey. You are 20 over 9. 20 over 9 in the Gippsland. Over.
Oh, roger that. Well, you're about 15 over here, so, things are looking good. Tell me about your radio and the thing you like best about it again.
Okay, Jim. Very good. Yeah, running the ICOM 7300 and going through a AL80B, 500 watts, and to an inverted V antenna, cut for 40. Apex at 35 feet, each end coming down at 20 feet, and feeding it with directly with coax. So that's the working conditions on this end. Oh, and the mic is a Heil ICM mic, over.
Roger, Roger. Well, you're at least 12 over my noise level, 12 dB over my noise level. I'm copying you on my double 10-foot mag loop antennas in the co-phase option this last time. Usually, we have those 2 10-foot loops, mag loops that come in, and so we can run either one separately. One's oriented north and south, the other east and west. But, when you get large mag loops, these are 10-foot mag loops, when you get that large, the directionality ceases to be acute, and that's why they co-phase so well, is because they're not necessarily hard left and right, as you might say, or 90 degrees, as the true term would be, since one is east and west, the other north and south. So quite often we do use the co-phase mode and wind up with about a 4 dB hotter signal than we would with either one of them by themselves, and that's what's happening this time. Your audio really sounds good, man. I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay, Jim, very good. I'll tell you what, you sound very good also. Just really, really nice audio. It's just pleasant to listen to. So I appreciate that. Thanks for coming back to me. And I'll cut you free and let you someone else make a contact with you. So, Jim, 73, take care. I'll talk to you later. N2, BUE clear. Have a good day.
This is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 4, Hotel Echo Whiskey.
A lot of stations there, a lot of stations. Let me run around on the internet, see if I can isolate one on the SDR circuit. This is KC9VKV, and listening.
Kilo India 4, Kilo Echo November.
Kilo Echo 4 something?
The call is Kilo India 4, Kilo Echo November.
Kilo India 4, Kilo, and the rest?
Echo November.
Echo November. Ken. Would the name be Ken?
No, the name would be Ron. Romeo Oscar November in Southern Virginia. Just 100 watts.
I was going to use logic, but then no. All right, Ron. And what was the radio?
This is a Kenwood TS-870.
Roger, sounds beautiful. Come back and tell me about your antenna system.
KC9VKV, K3.
Okay, I was waiting for the guy to quit transmitting. I'm running an off-center fed, a little Wyndham type antenna. It's up about 55 feet. The end's down to about 30. Running 100 watts on an Kenwood TS-870 at about 90 watts. Running an RE27 microphone and some 2HY gear with it.
Roger, you have a really good frequency response in your audios, very broad, and I would suggest that you do get a foam windscreen for that mic. I did detect some transients, Roger.
Okay, I have one. Hang on. Okay, Kilo India, 4 Kilo Echo November with the windscreen on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's just amazing what those foam windscreens do. They just take out any turbulence, that might be present, and just renders it clean as a tack. And all you hear are the words, no mouth noises. Roger.
Roger. I've been back and forth between taking it on and taking it off. And tried to set up this audio entirely through the monitoring system, through the W-Type 2HY stuff and some headphones. So I don't have a clue as to what it sounds like on the air. But I've always favored the windscreen, but recently I had taken it off, but maybe that was a mistake.
Yeah, it does nothing as far as hinder any of the frequencies that passes through it. The only thing it does is break up the wind velocities before it gets to the element, and it's just as night and day, when you're using it or not. Some folks, they have so much mouth noise. They actually are QRMing themselves. They have more mouth noise than they do words. Roger.
Roger. Yeah, I understand that. And I have a little trouble because of recently don't have my dentures. I messed them up, and I'm waiting for them. So I'm having a little bit of trouble being clear anyway.
Oh, you're doing an amazing job. Just beautiful audio. And we are recording, like I say, between 3:30 and 5. So if you want to hear what your station sounds like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page, you'll find an Aircheck entitled My Group Aircheck 3620. And that is today's Aircheck. Roger?
Okay, I'll make a note of that. It is KC9VKV.
Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Roger.
Okay, Victor Kilo Victor. Okay.
Yeah, and just beautiful audio. And you will see on our set, we have a spectrum analyzer that's back in there, and it will show you exactly what your audio is doing. Roger.
Okay, thank you very much, and we won't tie you up any further. KI4KN.
Roger, what was the name there?
Ron, Romeo, Oscar, November.
Roger, Ron 3's that way, sir. And you have a good afternoon, great weekend. This is KC9VKV. Got about 10 minutes till we turn into a pumpkin. Anybody want to check out their radio? Give me a shout.
Kilo 4, Hotel Echo Whiskey.
Hotel X-ray Whiskey. I'm running out of places to write here. What's the name there?
Kilo 4, Hotel Echo Whiskey. Name is Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo. Roger?
Roger, Joe. And what radio are you running today?
No, we're on the 7300. 7300, and it's running at 100 watts through a quarter wave vertical. We're actually living in a motorhome over here in Raleigh. Spoken to you before, but I had some wind wind. It sort of moved things around a little bit, and I reconnected everything on the antenna. I had an SWR without a tuner. I had an SWR of about 1.8, almost 2 to 1, which isn't too bad, but I got it cleaned up a bit, and I think I'm running okay now. I wanted to check my audio out. Over.
Oh, gosh, full range. I'd still suggest a windscreen for that microphone.
Yeah, I do have a little sock over it, not the foam, but just an old, one of my mama's nylon stockings, Roger?
Roger, yeah. I would go to my local music store and get that foam windscreen. It really does a great job, and I think it's only $4 or $5.
Oh, we'll do it, yeah. All right, by the way, when you went to the 990 a little bit ago, I noticed a hum over your audio. The 7300 had no hum, had very clear audio. This one has clear audio, but it's got a hum, a 60-cycle hum, Roger.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I'll have to check that out. It sounded clean to me, but I'll take a pause there. Can you hear it when I take a pause? Over.
Yes, after you quit talking, as you pause, I do hear a hum.
Thank you, sir. I'll check that out. Appreciate it. Threes to you, and have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday.
Many thanks. 73K4HEW.
Roger, Roger. KC9VKV, the afternoon, Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network, running till 5. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo November 4 Sierra Yankee X-ray, Kilo November 4 Sierra Yankee X-ray.
There was a Kilo Charlie something. Try it again.
Kilo Charlie, Kilo Whiskey X-ray, KC1KWS. KC9VKV, this is
KC1, and what's the rest?
Kilo Charlie Whiskey.
Pennsylvania, that's on Pennsylvania, right?
Kilo Charlie 1, Kilo Charlie Whiskey, is that correct?
Yes, you got it. It's Chris in Eastern Connecticut.
Alrighty, what's the name?
It's Chris in Eastern Connecticut.
Chris in Eastern Connecticut. Let me get that down. My log has become very jammed up. I've got to learn to stop doodling or write smaller. I'm not sure which. Chris, what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running a Yaesu STCX 101MP set into a Drake L7 running about 500 watts.
Roger. Now, come slowly with that radio. So I'll be sure and get all the ID on that. So come again with that radio, Roger.
Sure. It's a Yaesu STDX 101 Mary Peter, and I'm feeding that into a Drake L7, pushing about 500 watts into a dipole about 20 feet off the ground.
Roger. So EX101M, and what's the last letter?
MP, Mary Peter, DX101MP.
MP, Roger, got you there, sir. Sounds really good. I wish I had just a little bit better coffee on you. Come back and tell me about your antenna system.
The antenna is just a dipole about. A dipole about 20 feet off the ground. You're coming in here with about a 10 over 7, and you sound really good.
Roger, just check the Rochester SDR, and you are running about 10 over on the Rochester SDR, Roger.
10 over on the Rochester SDR, Roger.
Oh, fantastic! It's nice to hear that this radio is finally working. It's taken a lot of learning and a lot of turning dials to get it to to perform. So I think that I finally might have it mastered. I've only probably run it for about an hour now.
Roger, it looks good on the frequency response. I'm looking at a spectrum analyzer, and you are doing fairly well through the spectrum, and not a whole bunch on the bottom end. But I don't usually suggest a bunch of bottom end, because if you have some kind of problems with phase cancellation on the top end, which is usually where it occurs, then if you have a bunch of bottom end, suddenly you are not balanced spectrum-wise, audio-wise, and you just sound really bassy with not much intelligibility. So the way you're EQing it now, even if you do have some adversity in phase angle cancellations, you're still going to be perceived audio-wise as to what the words are, Roger?
Perceived audio-wise as to what the words are, Roger?
Oh, yeah. I do have this set rather thin. The microphone's a TR40, which is a pretty bassy mic, so I've set the parametric so that it's mostly mids. I find that the bottom end just ends up distorting, so right now that's kind of the way that I have it set. I'll let you go and get to somebody else. I know you have to run, and pretty soon that's when you turn into a pumpkin. But I'll say 73, and I'll listen for you in there again some other time. Some other time. It's KC9VKV, and I say 73.
Roger, Chris. 3Z Serve. You get a chance. Join us next Friday for the QSO-VLOG. We start at 3:30, go to 5, and we're recording all the way. If you want to hear what your radio sounds like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. Right now we're running about 980 some odd QSO-VLOGs, but you'll be looking for one in specific, and it's called My Group Aircheck 3620. My Group Aircheck 3620, Roger.
My Group Aircheck 3620, Roger.
I believe you got that, Jimmy.
Hello, Elmer. What's going on, sir?
Hello, Elmer. What's going on, sir? Well, I can't complain. I got a good copy of him. He just needs a little more highs, and he'd be all right.
Yeah, Roger. He's doing all right. He's doing all right. Whereabouts are you?
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. Whereabouts are you?
Well, if I told you, I'd have you.
Well, I've been killed before, man.
I've been killed before, man.
Well, I'm at...
Now, Elmer, I'm having to copy you on the Rochester SDR, Roger. I got nothing on the local.
Rochester SDR, Roger. I got nothing on the local.
You're not hearing nothing on local at all? You're only hearing me... I'm at the farm, so you're not hearing me at your house?
No,
Wow.
You up here at the farm?
Well, now I got you. I got you now on my antenna. Try it again.
You must have been on the wrong switch on the wrong antenna on the wrong time.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time. You can't be right all the time. Hello?
That's right. Has JR been in here and checked in with you today?
I haven't heard JR today. I don't know why, but was he supposed to?
Well, I invited everybody to come in and check in.
Oh, that's the ones I've been driving off for the stick. I didn't know that.
Is there anybody else out there that'd like to make a contact with KC9VKV VLOG? Sure, you got a lot of RF on your signal.
I hear somebody back in there.
K3 RFO, go ahead.
This is Kilo 3 India 5.
Oh, go ahead.
Over.
Hello, Joe in Frederick, Maryland. How are you copying Joe there, Mr. VKV?
I got him about 10, well, he's almost at my noise level, though, Roger.
Roger. Joe, you're smoking in Indiana, okay?
Roger. Thank you so much for picking me up. You're both 5'9". You're 5'9".
Roger. 73s, have a great day in GTO.
73,
Well, Elmer, gosh, you joined me at the wrong time. You should have come in earlier, man.
No, I just wanted to come in at the last dance of the romance and see how everything was going and compare this to that.
Well, listen, my log is all full up. I've been, I got some doodles in part of it, but, I've been trying to find some place for the last 20 minutes to write call signs.
Well, you know how it is, the last dance for romance and all that good stuff. Is there anybody else out there that would like to work KC9VKV and be in the VLOG? Come on in.
Alpha Charlie 2, Tango.
Alpha Charlie, Tango, come ahead.
Yeah, and KC9VKV. This is Alpha Charlie 2, Tango. The name is Cliff Spring King, North Carolina. Back to you, Jim.
Roger, what part of North Carolina?
King, just north of Winston-Salem, south of Mount Airy and the Virginia border.
Roger, and the name was?
Cliff, Charlie Lima, India, Foxtrot.
Cliff, do you copy N9GTO?
Oh, yes.
Cliff, can you tell me what kind of signal I'm giving you versus KC9VKV?
All right.
Right now it's just about a 9, S9, a little bit over.
Alrighty, and this is KC9VKV. What kind of signal you got on this radio?
S9 plus 10.
Roger, Roger. Thank you, Cliff. I appreciate that. You're sounding really good here, and looks to be about 10 over my local noise level, Roger.
Yeah, right. You guys sounded good, both of you. I was just curious to where you were, and then I finally got... I have 2 hearing aids, so I had to manipulate your call signs and hear them, and then I looked you up. I'm sure I said, I like that, the YouTube thing. Over.
Roger, Roger. Yes, if you go to YouTube in the next couple of days and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. We have about 980 some odd QSOs on that page at the moment, but you'll be looking for one in particular called My Group Aircheck 3620. My Group Aircheck 3620. Roger?
Roger. Well, give me a report on this then. How's it sound? This is an ICOM 718 AL80B, hitting about 800 watts. The dipole's cupped 40 meters, no tuner, and the apex is around 25 to 28 feet up. Over.
Roger, everything's fine. You could do a little audio fattening if you would engage your compressor at about a 3. If you got your compressor in there at about a 3, Roger?
Roger, compression is on now. Compression is on, and the 718, I don't know. You could adjust it so much, and it's about, I would say, 50%, maybe 60%. In between there, I would have to look at the menu there, James.
Roger. Okay, let me just give you some notes, and you can work the notes out at a later time. You want to get that compressor in there at about a 3. And then once you get your compressor in at about a 3, you want to go to your ALC meter with mic gain control in hand and adjust the ALC meter to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3 by way of manipulating your audio gain control. Roger?
Yeah, what's the other station's name? Yeah.
Now what's that signal look like right there?
Do it again.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you just got bass here. It's S10. It's just one hair above 9, so I guess that's 10 dBs. Over.
Good deal. Just 100 watts in a wire, old man.
That's all you need, I guess. I mean, all right, I'll set it down. Now, let's see. There's my amplifiers off. Can you hear me all right?
Hear you just fine.
Yeah, that's 100 watts. Well, actually, no, it's less than 100 watts. That's 87 watts.
Pick it up, Jimmy.
I'm headed for the dugout to shower. I got to get out of here. 3's up that way in the Carolinas. I'll catch you later. Have a good afternoon, great weekend. And if you get a chance to drop by YouTube in a couple of days, we'll have it uploaded, and you can hear what your audio sounds like. Really, really good. 3's that way. And this is KC9VKV, and we're going to jump out of here. Never can find the close, so not going to bother with that. We'll just say we had a good chance, good time, and hope everyone managed to get in. And also, if you want to hear what you sound like, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, and that'll take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And on that page, you're looking for My Group Aircheck 3620. My Group Aircheck 3620. That'll do it for now. We'll say 3's all. Catch you later. This is KC9VKV returning the frequency to normal amateur radio use. Bye.
3, thank you.
Jim, it's time to ice up a cold.
Jim, you did a great job once again. Have a fantastic day. NS4F.
Well, thank you, sir. I try.
Yeah, Jim's really doing a great thing for the hobby. I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you very much. From November 9, Golf Tango Oscar on the hill in Louisville.